Good morning. Gewalt, the Chodesh Elul, and a big Mazel Tov. Unbelievable Hashgacha Pratis. In Chabad today, not only Chabad, all the Yidden that are learning in the schedule of Rambam, today we start learning the halachas of Milah. Help the Eibishter that we have a Gewaldige Simcha here. Mazel Tov, David had a baby boy this Shabbos. So before we start, I just want to tell you that there's a moiridike thing. And that is that Shulchan Aruch Yeridei Siman Shin Tzadik Dalet Siv Dalet says like this: that when a person is navelis for the loss of a father or mother, the Gemara says that Moed Kotten Daf Chav Zayin is brought Halacha Shulchan Aruch. Im Neulad Ben Ba'osim Mishpacha Nesrapa Kol HaMishpacha.
Who said that? The Rambam?
What does that mean? What's the second for the boys born in the family? They edited.
Shem shall be okay. So for Sharon Abbas, Rivka Abbas, the valet, she should be gezon. So someone asked an interesting question here. Sure.
Yeah.
So someone had an interesting question. She wants to name her baby. Okay. That's not a big deal. Male or female? Male. How old is the baby? 3 years old. Ooh. Well, wait, let's back up a drop. When was the bris? There was no bris.
Oh. Jewish.
He's Jewish. He's Jewish. Okay. So the kitzur, this woman, she was not young. Machlal, not young. And she had this baby. And she has a great uncle who lives in this neighborhood. And she just discovered her grandfather's Jewish name. She was so excited, she wanted to give him a Jewish name. So I got all excited. Good, sehr good. So here I'm getting very involved. I'm thinking that this is gewaldig. Okay, so I have to have a bris. No, but he already had when he was a baby in the hospital. Baby in the hospital. It's for sure not a kosher bris. First of all, it probably happened before the 8th day. It happened through a goy, and it happened maybe by night. So it's like, 3 minuses. So good. So what's the din? We'll learn it in a minute. Shulchan Aruch, you have to do a tofas dam bris. So I explained about a tofas dam bris, not painful. Just like 1 drop of blood, and you do the mitzvah milah. In fact, you don't make a bracha, but it's not nageh for the woman to make a bracha. Don't make a bracha b'shem malchus, not b'shem malchus. But there's a ceremony, and you do a tofas dam bris, 1 drop of blood, and sort of retroactively it makes that instead of being a non-bris, the bris becomes a kosher bris.
Wow.
Machaya is also good. Okay. And everything is warming up, and the basement Achmedel, it's another excitement here, and the call is being put in for another breakfast special, another continental breakfast. So we're gonna make. This was gonna happen 2 weeks ago. We're gonna be. It was gonna be a Wednesday morning or Thursday morning. So it's gonna be a chof of. It was Yom Zegula noch. It's a chof of. We're gonna make a special shachris. Everything's going good. No, I've tried my luck a little more. I say she lives out of town. Yiddishkeit, nothing. No zero. Her husband's a goy. A Shabbos candle. Yeah, Rabbi. How do you do Shabbos candle? So I tell her how to do it. I don't know. Could you tell me? So I text her the time of Adlokas Nedis, and I text her the bracha in English. So 2 minutes later, she sends me a picture. It was done.
Wow.
She lit the Shabbos candles.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Was it on a cake?
For a birthday cake?
So it's a birthday cake. So she says, I'm sure God won't mind birthday candles, will he? So then comes the next text. By the way, Where do they prick my son to get some blood? Question mark. Finger, I hope. Exclamation mark. Oy, 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 oy. Now it's Shabbos by her. She said Lahadlik Neshel Shabbos Kodesh. She lit the Shabbos candles. I'm not going to answer. I can't answer her now. What am I going to answer? Am I going to call her? It's not a simple answer. The answer is no. It's not the finger. What should I do? Should I just write no? What should I do? So I ignore it.
She'll wonder why you didn't respond.
Yes, hello. I'm wondering if you're still interested in helping with this. I would love to talk if you can. I also have tried Rabbi Heber, the Moyal. I put her in contact with Rabbi Heber. We have not heard from him yet about where they take the blood from. Huh?
It's real.
That's I'm telling you. She already spoke to the Moyal. Everything was set. We're having bagels for breakfast Wednesday morning.
These texts are happening on Shabbos?
Yeah. I'm not answering. For her, it's Shabbos. For me, it's not Shabbos yet. I'm sitting there platzing. She already lit candles. She sent me a picture. So, what am I supposed to do?
The candle is on the cake.
So what's the difference? But she made the bracha Lahadlik Neshel Shabbos
Even if you have to bother
Kodesh.
with how Shabbos, I guess it takes on its own when you light the candles.
Yeah, sure. Huh? So B'meila, I didn't answer her till after Shabbos. But after Shabbos, I called the Moil. I said, Levi, do me a favor, please call this to try to explain to her which finger it is. So, anyway, as you know, we haven't sent out any email about a special breakfast on Chofav, so it didn't happen. Why? So I want to go through with you why I didn't push for it. So the kid said the Moil called and explained what is B'ma Medubar, and she discussed it with her husband, and he said B'shum Ponim V'ofen not. Day and night they speak to their son. Achas Ra'alti Me'es Hashem. Only one thing they tell their son, Yomam V'layla. No one's allowed to touch him. V'chulu v'chulu. And the truth is, I understand them. It's a little weird. If you do a bris, a baby. Then you do bris for children. If it's a real bris, when they're 8, 9, 10, also understand. But a toughest down bris at the age of 3, the truth is, it is. I must agree, it is complicated. If it was like really painful and it was a kid knows he did a bris.
And there's no from doctor available because a doctor doing it would be less.
What was done was done.
Jewish doctor.
To have a from doctor do it.
Oh,
It's
doctor's office for visits.
Oh, so yeah, good question. Good question. Good question.
Weird.
No, the question is, huh? Right. These are all good questions. The Sheilos is if she gets so involved or not. That was the question. I decided not to, not to push, and I'll explain to you why. It's a machlokes really Shulchan Aruch and the Shagas Aryeh. That's the bottom line.
And he's an oral right now.
According to the Shulchan Aruch, he's an oral, and if you don't do a Tavas Dambris, he's an oral, and if you do a Tavas Dambris, you're Mekayim the Mitzvah. According to the Shagas Aryeh, it's not true. He argues against the Shulchan Aruch. He says it's a movis lo yuchel iskan. There's nothing in the world you could do. If you did a bris through a go, you did it by night, you did it koidim shmoina. It's a whole machlokes in the Sugis HaGemara, machlokes Rishonim. So Shulchan Aruch, if he could, because he doesn't have an oral.
He doesn't. He's in other words, it's okay.
It's opposite. There's nothing you can do now.
No, but does that mean he can't get a bris afterwards?
That's it. It's over.
Done.
And there's nothing in the world he can do. He's not an oral. He could eat a korban pesach, but he's putter. It's too late. There's nothing he can do. There's nothing in the world he can do to fix it. That's the way the Shagas Aryeh paskins.
When I was in Russia, there was a moyo,
Yeah.
actually a guy, a Geyer, and he was doing all the brisim for maybe a year or so, and then he decided he wanted to be a guy again. It was such evil. This is about 25 years ago. So people doing toughest down wrist, all different things.
Oh wow. So this is Taka the Shaila. This is the Nekudas Shaila. Does the Shulchan Aruch says whenever there's a non-kosher Mila Balayla, Mila Degoy. Mila Goy is a Shaila, by the way. We're going to learn this. We'll learn everything inside. Bottom line is, it's a machloikas between the Shulchan Aruch and the Shagas Aryeh. So I'm not going to get involved. okay, whatever. So I said, you know what?
Like the Shagas
We'll pass him like the Shagas Arya.
What about
Again,
the
the-
toughest stuff? What's wrong with it?
But she didn't want. She was very against it.
But
She
if,
said
let's say
she
she
could,
wanted.
if she wanted, bagels and lox are here on the table. Morning, that's it. It's all done.
You said that the Shagas Aryeh says no.
Shagas Arya says no, and her husband says no. So because the Shagas Arya concurs with her husband, he said, you know what? We'll let it drop.
No, his question is,
But what I'm saying is,
is there any more like the Shulchan Aruch?
yeah, exactly. I mean,
Yeah, l'chatchila you would go with Shulchan Aruch, but here it was a sticky situation
only because he didn't want it.
because he didn't want it.
But
13
the
or
fact
18,
is
yeah.
that he really should have it.
Sure, he should have it. Maybe when he grows up, if he'll become a Baal Tshuva and he'll learn in yeshiva, his Rosh Yeshiva will, show him, the
may not
halacha.
even
If
know
you were
to
to
ask.
speak to the father, maybe he would change his mind.
No.
He's not
There's-
Jewish, was he?
if someone tells you that their whole life they've been talking to their son, that this is like the most important thing in life, that
And
and
what about
therefore-
a doctor? Is there a from doctor in the town? Because if it's a
already more-
doctor,
it's too
then
much.
it's not
What
as
is the most
weird.
important thing in their life?
That's what they said. The whole life
saying why
that they're talking. Huh?
Sorry, we're saying why he didn't push.
Yeah.
There's two times. Two
Right. So she said it to her husband. This is the most important thing. He always talks to his son. That no one's allowed to touch him. So if this was a din Shulchan Aruch with no argument, no one argues, no one disagrees, that's the din. Maybe we'll try to, maybe we can get a doctor to do it. Maybe we can do it this way, that way, the other way. Maybe we can figure something out. But since the Shagas Arya, who was a Godel B'Yisrael, and he brings many to Shoinim who hold that it's over, that there's nothing you can do, and a Tafas Dam Bris is nothing. It's zero. Zero. He holds a zero. You're wasting
makes
your
it
time.
worse.
No, it's a zero. It's zero. So why should I waste my time if the Shagas Arya says not to waste any time over it? Now, if the father was pliable and it didn't sound like this was like it sounded like this is crossing the red line. This is like terrible. Okay, so I spoke to, there was another shliach that said we'll make a celebration because I was going out of town for Thursday morning. So I was here for Chofav. I was out of town already for the next day. So the shliach in Georgetown said he'll make a special shachris. He has shachris, and he'll make us by Kriyas HaTorah. They'll give the kid a name. Okay, so that's it. That was settled.
Are you allowed to give the name without the birth?
What could you do? It's too late. You
And
can't
according to
redo the bris.
Shagas he's a yid, so
He's a Yid and everything.
So
You get it. You
now he has a
why
Jewish
not?
name at least.
Yeah, and why not? At least he has a Jewish name. You have a little bit of a Jewish identity.
Shagas Aryeh says it doesn't, but you don't have, it can be done by a daughter.
They can, but if it was done and now to do a tofas dam bris, to give a prick and take out blood is not going to help. It's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. It's whatever.
It's still like you didn't have a bris.
Oh, yeah.
No. It's not like it has a bris. It's a apostle of bris. Therefore, they can never go back and be metaken that.
Can't cut it, you can't do a bris again.
Let's read the Gemara. Isa b'Gemara Shabbos. There's a very long Gemara, and it's a shakla v'taya and Rishonim. I'm just giving you a snippet of the Gemara to give you a flavor a little bit, and then you're on the sheet.
Yeah, one more.
A snippet of the Gemara, and then a little bit of the Shulchan Aruch, because and then a little bit of the Shagas Arya. The Gemara says the child was already there was such a thing of a child born without a foreskin. That's it. Like it says by Moshe Rabbeinu, no look Shomol. It was born and he didn't have a orla. He went, but he held that you're chayiv to do a tafas, because the Gemara it's not clear if you're chayiv to do a tafas dam bris or not. It's a machloikis. The Gemara says that b'yom hashmini or yimul that even b'Shabbos you have to do the milah, and the pasuk adds yimul b'sar or losa. We know, obviously. What do you think? It's a prick on the finger? Everyone understands. So therefore, the Gemara says, L'm'uti, it's to be mema'et, misha noilad, kashu mol, that if he was born or already had a milah, that you don't do it on Shabbos. Now, what does the Gemara mean? That also, you never do it, even if it's on weekday? This is where it gets a little complicated between the Rishonim. So some Rishonim hold, the Arlase teaches us that if he already was born and he has no Arla, there's no such a thing as a tafas dam bris. He doesn't have an orla. It doesn't have an orla. That's what some Rishonim learn. But other Rishonim don't learn that way. It's on Shabbos you can't do it. And that's the way the Shulchan Aruch paskins. So Rebbe Barava went to the Moelim and they said, could you do a tafas dam bris on Shabbos? The Marlam said, no, we're not allowed to on Shabbos. It's also because the Chazal Darshan. So he went to 1, 2, 3. He went to 13 Moyalim, and everyone refused to do Atavas Dam Bris. He said, I'm going to do it myself. But unfortunately, he was not an Uman. He thought he knew what he was doing. Huh? Nabada Barava.
From the Gemara.
From the Gemara. He thought he knew what he was doing, and unfortunately, he made a mistake. Ad Shavya Krus Shavcha. He did something, and unfortunately, his child can never have children after that. Omar, he said, Teitzei. He cried and he said, This punishment I deserved. The Avri Aderav, I was over on what the Rav said that you're not allowed to do it in Shabbos. Hatavas Dam Bris. Omar Leib Nachman, the Shmuel Oyover. And what? He was over only.
What's the Halacha involved? Doing it on Shabbos.
What's the Halacha of taking out blood on Shabbos?
Even
making
though
a chabura on Shabbos.
It's a mitzvah.
Yeah. Okay, it's not a mitzvah because according to Chazal, they learned from a pasuk that it's not a mitzvah to do on Shabbos. Amar Reb Nachman said that the Shmuel Oyover, he wasn't over on Shmuel. Eimer Dam Shmuel B'choil. Shmuel said you're supposed to do a Tafas Dam Bris in the weekday, but Shabbos miyamar on Shabbos, did he say to do it? So the Gemara says, "Who avasav avasav hold that vade orla kvushihi." That when there's no such thing a kid that has no orla. It's somewhere hidden. So therefore you have to find the orla. He thought that's a pshat of Tafas Dam Bris. Dit meraba machashina sham orla kvusha. Rabbi says it's not true. We give a little prick. Maybe there's a hidden orla and it will come flying out. But Rabbi Yosef amavada orla kvusha. That's the story in the Gemara. Now let's go to the Shulchan Aruch. Here today is Semeresh Samech Beis. We're going to do 3 dinim in Shulchan Aruch just to give you a bird's eye view on this concept. The first is Semeresh Samech Beis Sif Aleph. Ein mo'lam at shetonat zachamba b'yem hashmini lilei dosai. The reason we're doing this is Sheilos could be very relevant. Sometimes you meet people that they already had a bris in the hospital by a doctor, and it was not a kosher bris. This is not an uncommon. Unfortunately, it's not an uncommon thing that they didn't have a kosher bris.
If it was by day and the doctor is Jewish, left from it.
That's beside, maybe even if it's not from, he'll be fine. We'll look in the Shulchan Aruch in a minute because even though a mumer is like a goy, but today most of the doctors that are not from are not really a mumer. They're tinuk shenishba. They don't know. And contrary, we should assume the Gemara says if a person has a breda to do something bad or good, they want to do it good. A yid is a chazaki wants to do it good. The yid is shagak, even if he's not religious, if he knows he has a Jewish baby. Why should we assume that he's doing it not with the right intention? Probably he did it with the intention.
Do they do it automatically in the hospital?
No. Parents have to decide to do it. You don't do the circumcision until Neitzachama in the 8th day. Once it's Alois HaShachar, you're Yoitza. But you're supposed to wait for the morning, because it says Bayoim. You have to do it Bayoim, not Balayla. We do Magdimim, we do it in the morning. Even if the Milah Shalom is money, you can't, if the baby's jaundiced or whatever, you wait, but the meal at the end is Bayoim. Hagoah, like that, if he was over and he did the Milah Balayla, he has to take out the Dam Bris. If he did it toiches and he did it by day, Yotza, he was Yoitza. This is a firestorm about this. Some hold, the Shagazai says, what are you talking about? How could it be that he was Yoitza if he did the Milah before 8 days? He says, no, the reason is because there's nothing to do anymore. That's what but the Reb Chaim Briske said, and it's brought in the Chazan Yecheskel, he said, no, Reb Chaim Briske word. He said, the Torah says that B'yom Hashmini Yomu. But when should be a tafas? If you can't do milah, but you have to do a tafas dam bris, when should you do it? The Torah didn't say. B'yom Rishon, B'yom Hashmini. The Torah didn't say. So if he did milah before Yom Ches, so milah he wasn't yoitza, but a tafas dam bris he was yoitza. For tafas dam bris it doesn't have to be
But that will
after
still take away the Ariel?
there's nothing else to do.
No, but that will still.
Reb Chaim doesn't go into that. Chazon Cheskel says Bekitzer in the Tosefta. He says his word. He heard from his Rebbe, Reb Chaim Briske. Anyway, a Briske word. Weiter. Simen Reish Samach Gimel. Noil Shumo. The baby's born and he already had a milah. Tzarech la'atem and dam bris. You have to do atavas dam bris. Shulchan Aruch paskins you do have to do. In other words, as we'll speak soon, other Rishonim say you don't have to do. The Gemara, it's not clear. I mean, Shabbos, you're not allowed to do it. It's clear in the Gemara. It's also to do it on Shabbos. He was punished that he did it on Shabbos. But during the week, it sounds from the Gemara that you are supposed to do it At least as a machlokes, it's not clear what the halacha is in the Gemara. The Shulchan Aruch paskins that if the baby was born mole, that you have to atafas mir benachas. We should be very, very careful. Tzrichim lizor, v'tzrichim miltza limivdeka yofe b'yadayim b'maris anayim v'lo b'paras lo. Don't use any tools to chas v'sholom rachmon al maybe do any damage to the baby. If you have to check if it's considered that the baby already is circumcised or not, don't use any instruments, chas v'sholom. Just use your fingers to check, and that's it. Don't ever use any instruments. Okay. To be very nize. If there's a shaila, if the kid has a foreskin or not, sometimes the foreskin is small, and you don't know if you're chayiv or not chayiv. So be very careful. Forget about Yom HaShmini. If you think that you're not sure, this will wait a few days till the kid grows up and touch with your fingers, but don't push it. The kid shouldn't come to a sakona. Because we see in the story about the Barava that the kid Rachmana Litzlan ended up a terrible story. Next, the Siman Yoredeh Siman Reish Tamach Hakum Shenim Lomal Afila Eved Isha Vekotten Ve'oro. Everyone is kosher to do a bris milah. Ve'oro Yisrael Shemeisu Echem Machmas Milah. That is a potter for milah. He's also allowed to do. V'miesh Yisrael Godel Shedei Lomal Hu Kaidem L'Kulam. Later we can say it's better to have a Moila Yerushalayim. The minig is that it should be only ish, not a ish. Because really, a isha, the Gemara says, command the malya. The Eibishter makes a covenant also with the woman. On the other hand, Lapoel, she doesn't have a bris.
We see Sepharad did it.
Exactly. So we see Sepharad did it. The minig is that, but because they have no choice.
Covenant?
Yeah, the woman also has a bris, a covenant with Hashem. Huh? Anyway, it's before Man Torah, exactly. You're right, because all the protim are different. A goy not. But if the goy did it, you don't have to do it again. Again, there's a big shak about why. The Shagatzai says, you know why? Because it's not going to help to do atofas down bris now. But the Beis Yosef says no. And because it's a suffix if a goy could do a milah now. It was not clear in the Gemara that it's a goy can't do it.
Imagine you have a breast with the thing. It follows the bracha and the goy cuts. That was.
Then it's a suffix. According to the Beis Yosef, it's a suffix. Even the Gemara darshans, but it wasn't clear. So it's not. So maybe Takis.
Rabbi, let me ask you, what happens if a male gets a message on Shabbos, like whatever, for some reason he didn't prepare, but someone needs a bris that day. Is he allowed to carry his equipment?
So yeah, there's a whole sugi about it in the Gemara.
He's allowed to carry it.
Depends. You get a goy, it's a carmelist, but yeah,
It's just a shliach of the father.
This question is a classic question in the Mishnah in the Gemara. There's a whole Pedic in the Gemara. Pedic 19 in Shabbos, Masechah Shabbos, and Belazah de Mila. This is a very geschmack Pedic in the Gemara.
The mohel is just a shliach of the father, right?
Yeah, the mohel is a shliach of the father.
So the father has a mitzvah.
Yeah.
So therefore, the shliach he can do it for the father, but a goy cannot be a
shliach. It's a good question. It's a good question. He can be a shliach. But the father being a shliach, the father doing the mitzvah is lechatchila. It's not likuva. If someone grabbed the baby away, maybe the father could take him to Bezdin. He has to make him pay because he stole his mitzvah. The whole sugya of stealing someone's mitzvah. The mitzvah belongs to the father. So if you grab away someone's baby and you do the milah is kosher, and the bracha is kosher, and the baby is kosher, and everything is kosher. But they can go to Bezdin and make him pay for stealing a mitzvah. Okay. We're back in the third paragraph. It's Siman Yoredeh, Siman Reish Samach Dalad, and the Hagoah. Yeshem Lechem Alach Zalatam Dabris. That some say no. If a goy did it, so it's not kosher, and it's legamri not kosher. So therefore, you have to do tatavas dabris. V'chein ikir. The Ramos says that's taked alocha. If he's a mumer, he doesn't keep all the Torah, or he doesn't keep the mitzvah of Mila, he's like a goy. There's a baby that there's emergency surgery for whatever reason, and they have to take off the Mila, so it doesn't, and it's before the day 8, so there's no difference if it's a Yidin or a goy, because it's not kosher anyway.
Although we said in the end of Beis Samach Beis, Malub Toch Ches Ubiyom Yotza.
Right.
So that's like contradictory.
Right, it's contradictory. So maybe, okay, let's leave it.
All right.
Okay. Good question. Shagas Arya says like this. Shagas Ayah Chiach Mekama Rishonim. The Rashi Masechah Shabbos. Well, the Lila brings it in the Rosh Hashanah. Hey. Bottom line, La Halacha, Rak Ger Chayv Lahatav Dam Bris. Tinuk Shenolet L'mol Ein Tzarech Lahatav. V'chalama B'nei like Posel L'balayl L'fnezmam K'muvitz Lo Yuchaliskin. I'm just quoting the main words that are negated. According to Shagas Ayah says it's not clear in the Gemara because at the end the Torah says B'yom Hashmini Yimul Basar Orla also. B'yom Hashmini means even b'Shabbos, but only if he has a real Orla. B'Atavas Dam Bris you can't do b'Shabbos. But on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, mashma you could do. But are you chayiv to do it or not? That's not clear in the Gemara. So the Rash, which is one of the Rishonim, so it says no. There's no such a thing as a tovas dam bris by a Jewish baby. A tovas dam bris only by a ger. A ger, like this week's Parsha, that the ger used to be artse. If you have a ger, so then and you already had a milah, you do a tovas dam bris. But for a Jewish child, doesn't matter if he was born already with a milah or he was born and then they did it before they ate, or a goy did it, or they did it by night, or apostle did it. Doesn't matter. There's no such thing as a tovas dam bris. The Torah is mechadish. When the Torah says that you can't be over Shabbos, the charaya, that this doesn't fix the problem. The Shach says, I don't understand. The Torah only tells you that you can't do tovas dam bris b'Shabbos. It doesn't tell you that tovas dam bris doesn't work. So Shagas Ayah says back, Monoshech, is it yeah a milah or not a milah? If a tovas dam bris is a milah, you should be able to do it in Shabbos. That's the Shagas Ayah's retort to the Shach. To which I would say that we know that the Rebbe has a moedik shakla bataria. What is the main thing in mitzvah milah? The Rebbe holds all three are true. That's the bottom line. That is the ikar is to do the maisa of the cutting, or to make sure that it doesn't have an arla, or to make sure that he is a mole. There's many nafkaminas. The mitzvah Hashem. Another time we'll go into this.
Sounds like what's it called? The Mitzvah would deal with that kind
exactly.
of stuff.
So the Rebbe wants to know which one is it. The Rebbe has nafkaminas la halacha to each way. The Rebbe holds that l'maisa all three are true. There's three parts to the mitzvah. There's a mitzvah in the maisa milah to make sure the baby has no arla, and also to make sure the baby has a chaloi shem of a mole. Now, when you do a tovas dam bris, you see in the Gemara itself. The Gemara says shema arla kvusha shema. There's no arla here. What do you mean you're taking off the arla? There is no arla. There is no arla. The most you could say is shema arla kvusha, but there is no arla. Or elamai, it's the maisa coming into aklachnise bevrisa shel Avram. The maisa hamila, that by making this prick you do the maisa hamila. So you could say that the Torah says if you're doing all three things, a regular mila with the cut of the knife, you're doing three things at the same time. You're doing a maisa mila, you're taking off the arla, and you're making the child should be a mole. So memela that you're allowed to do on Shabbos. The Apostle says b'yom hashmini yimul afilu b'Shabbos eis b'sar arla. But if he already doesn't have an arla, you're only accomplishing what tovas dam bris one thing, the maisa mila. But arla, you're not taking away arla. Shanavegenum and the arla. A day before, the night before, the goy, the apostle, that he was born that way. So yeah, well, on Shabbos you can't do it, but still that you're doing. Anyway, that's the crux of the machlokes. That according to the Shulchan Aruch, we paskin like the Rishonim will say, on Shabbos you don't do a tovas dam bris, but Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday you do tovas dam bris, and it does retroactively fix. So if the bris was done through apostle or was done by Laila, so then only thing is if it was done before they ate. Shulchan Aruch says then you don't do a tofa, and Reb Chaim Brisk has a word because if you did a bris on day one, so it's possible as a bris, but as a tofa it's kosher. So whatever, that's the one exception. But otherwise we do a tofa as dam bris.
Does Reb Moshe deals with this in here?
I didn't look up. Was it hard enough to go
I'm
through
sure
the
he
sugya
got
with
questions like this.
It's hard enough last night going through the Shagas
So we
Ayah.
do a tapas dam, even after, it doesn't have to be on the big day. It could be any
Yeah,
day.
it could be any day later.
Any
Well,
day.
a milah itself also if you
Any
miss
day, not Shabbos.
if you miss the milah, you can also you have to
Right.
when you see a person has a baby, if they're not, even if you think you're religious. I mean, besides you see people sitting around the table here, you have to make sure the baby's getting a bris. If you have a business associate, is a person you think they're traditional, but you don't know. You should always find out that they have a moil. If they don't have a moil, you suggest there's Baruch Hashem. You have today moilim that have experience. They can put the best doctors in their back pocket, and they have unbelievable reputations, and they're very good. So it's a mitzvah to you don't know. You mamish, you don't know. You think people that they know. We had once a bris here in Beis Menachem.
Adam's son.
We had many
Moel,
bris.
no, the Moel is, he made a lot of britos for 70, 80 years old. There's pictures, there's a book.
Right.
What's it
So
for that?
I called up the father on day 8. I said, "Why you didn't invite me for the bris?" I said it as a joke, but I just wanted to. He said, "I didn't realize. I didn't think of it." I'm telling you, it's the Maisa Shoya. There was a bris here in Beis Menachem a couple of years ago. So I called him. It was already too late for that day, because time he came running to check the baby and Shkia. So we had it the next morning. We sent our thing. We had a nice breakfast. All's good. You don't know. Medaf machen sich, especially Yidden that are not such Shomrei Torah mitzvahs.
I had it too.
Yeah, so you can.
Family they knew. Rabbi Heller arranged a mail to go to Philadelphia.
Machaya.
2 kids.
It's an unbelievable schus. You have an unbelievable schus. Anyway, Lamaisa, as I said, this is if a Tovas Dam Bris works for a Jewish child or not, is a machloikas, a Rishonim. Some Rishonim say no. There's no such thing as a Tovas Dam Bris. It works for a Geir, it doesn't work for a Jewish child. And some Rishonim hold it does work, and that's the way the Shulchan Aruch paskins, that it does work. As I said, I think it will come down to this Chakira. If you believe that there's 3 parts in the Mitzvah Milah, so you'd say, okay, the Torah said that B'Yom HaShmini Yimol, you do the Milah even on Shabbos, but only if he has B'sar or Losai. If he doesn't have B'sar or Losai, so you can't do B'Shabbos. But in the other days of the week you do it, because you do the Maisa Milah. But, as I said, the Maisa, in this sticky case, we decided whatever, just going to go with the Shagas Arya. As I said, we started the Shir. I just want to show you a quote. Yoyda Deya Simon Shin Tzadik Dalat Siv Dalat. It's an unbelievable Ashgacha process. I'm preparing the Shir last night, and I get a call from David and his wife. They just had a baby boy. He said, wow, I'm learning a Shagas Arya about a bris. So his wife says, what's the special thing? I had a baby now in Shabbos. What's the special thing? I said, what's the special thing? What's the Shaila? Your father passed away recently. Chaz Hashem, you have now a boy, but you think it's not only it's nice you have a boy. There's a din brought in Shulchan Aruch, and it's a Gemara Moed Cotton. The Shulchan Aruch says like this: Kol shlosh yom yirei v'kil chayre munachas lemek sefer mishlosh vat shiva kizok keneged bekerem zavis mishivat shlosh kilo ever from mishuva chol oisa shon adim metuch keneged oisa mishpocha im noilad ben zocher beisa mishpocha niserapes kol mishpocha. Mazel tov mishpachas Toltzman. That's not from the Shulchan Aruch that I had.
And they all would be healthy.
So unbelievable. Last night I figured, let me look, and I did a search on this Gemara. Before Shemahin, I hear some people say only a zocher. Some people say it's not fair. And what if you have a girl that's not nesrapa kol mishpacha? It's not. A kid says it's a lebedik, a hin and tzarik. But I didn't see anyone say a simple pshat. I don't understand what's the shakla v'taya. A girl is very nice, but you don't have the Gemara says Isha command the mal yadam that the Eibush already did the bris, and therefore women could say abris chasham in benching. But Lepol, you don't have the schus of doing the mitzvah of milah, because the Eibush already has it. It's a bigger milah, the Eibush's milah, but Lepol, you don't have the schus. But when you have a boy, you have the schus, the unbelievable schus that Avraham Avinu waited 99 years. Why did Avraham Avinu wait 99 years? Because he knew that even though every mitzvah he did before he got the command, but this mitzvah, if he's going to do it, he lost it. What can he do afterwards? He already cut off his milah. Now the Eibush is going to give him later a command. Now it's all over. It's nothing. He could do a Tavas Dan Bris. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. Therefore, he was the only mitzvah he didn't do.
May have held like the Shagasari?
That's what he's saying.
Why did he wait?
That's why he waited, because you can't do twice a bris. If he cut it before God told him, so then he wouldn't have the schus of doing a mitzvah that God told him to do. It's his own mitzvah.
He knew he should do it before.
Yeah, but he didn't want to do it because the Shabbos candle you could light before God tells you, and after God tells you, you'll do it again. Now, after God tells you, you'll do it, and it has an unbelievable thing because it's a mitzvah because Hashem told it to you. But the milah, once you cut it once, the foreskin, you can't cut it a second time. That's why he waited. So you understand that the Avraham Avinu waited 99 years to do this mitzvah. So now that you have this chus, that a bris, that the whole Torah it says there were 3 brises, and on bris milah there's 13 brises, and the Alter Rebbe brings the Maim Miyala Lona Shamayim Sofa Tovas Yudke Vovke and Rosh Tovas Mila is even higher than Yudke Vovke. It's an unbelievable thing. So that's why in this Narapa Kol Mishpacha, such a schus, when you bring a child into the world, is nice. But when you have a boy and you have the schus of making a bris, a kosher a bris, versteht sich, it gives a
The boy
ripui.
is born kishumol.
So then what's a shaila? There's a shaila. It's a good shaila.
Moshe Rabbeinu.
There's a good shaila. It's a good shaila. Based on the pshat, I'm saying. Maybe I'm pshat is wrong. Anyway, Baruch Hashem, I think in this case, we'll have a mitzvah Shem, a bris milah, and a mitzvah Shem. There'll be the serapa called on a mishpacha. You have to tell the whole family about this. It's an unbelievable thing. It's an unusual thing that we say. The serapa called on mishpacha.
The bris will be next Shabbos.
Okay, since we do 2 shilas very, very quick.
The verse is on Shabbos.
Well, you get the moil is going to come see if the baby is good. Yeah.
And is there a special thing about being first on Shabbos?
Every day is special.
So Shabbos is more
Take care of the
special?
baby. It's in the house somewhere.
It's more special. We're all going to get some exercise because you're going to have to walk
Ask
to
him,
come
ask
to
him
the
Where's it
before
gonna be?
talking Shabbos.
Yeah.
Where's it going to be?
David, you let us know where it's going to be. Parents will send out a text, and everyone will mitzvah Shem know where it is.
We may have a long trip to go. Make it a little bit late because we have to walk from here.
Okay, quickly we do 2 shilas, so we can say we did 3 shilas. This week's Parsha says, Lo yekli gever, Elisha, v'lo yilbash gever, sim l'seish, keseves Hashem, el kecha kol oisa eila. Interesting shilas someone once asked. He was a doctor, a cardiologist, he got a job in a hospital, he was going to be the head of the department. Alamai was a young man, and he thought that the other doctors, it would be a friction. So he asked the Shaila if he's allowed to dye his hair white. To look a little more dignified. The opposite, exactly. So the kids, the answer is it's mutter. Why? So the Shulchan Aruch says, "Osel ish lilket afilu sar achad lovim etechet shchayres." You're not allowed to collect the white hairs from the black. When a person starts getting white hair, is not allowed to collect the white hair out of the black to look younger. Mishum lo yilbash gever, because that's what women do. If he's going gray, he's not allowed to dye his hair white, black.
What about white?
What? No, 1 second. It's also to be mistakel in a mirror. I don't think it doesn't. Doesn't mean. It means mistakel, to stand there like a woman.
Start fixing, start doing.
It doesn't mean if a person looks for a moment to see if his tefillin is straight or chveza. It doesn't
Is there a
mean.
briefer word than the stakel?
Yeah. Lidois. Istaklus means istaklus chazok.
Glance is one
Yeah,
thing.
istaklus means, like it says, also istakel bekeshes. I'm sure you could look. You can't make the brach if you don't look.
It's not so silent.
You can't look. You can't. How can you make the brach? Istakel means you're standing there as when you make a l'shem yichud, like a woman stands in front of the mirror. So that's
Just get away.
exactly. Anyway, so the Tan says, what about the other way around? What happens if the man has black hair and he wants to dye it white? He says that's mutter. Why? This is why.
Because women don't do it.
Because no woman does it. Which Meshuggah woman does it? So I was discussing with my wife last night. She says she doesn't know if the Taz is right today. Maybe in the days of the Taz he was right, but today there's women that are young and Meshuggah, and they
The older ones.
Red, yellow.
but they're young ones. There's young ones.
I got a question. It's true. Is that the side of your head or also your beard?
The same thing.
You don't have beard.
Whatever hears they have.
A lot younger.
Right.
Younger
Yeah.
is all you hear.
But that's the din and the poilus are the same.
You can't make a din for a sugar.
Not doing it to make it older.
Yeah, I agree with
Based on
you.
a
I agree with you.
But what should I
I
say
agree.
with sugar?
I agree. Anyway, Lamaisa, Baruch Shalom Zan Meshuggah. One more shaila. Someone asked, what's the mocker about saying Ksivach Sam Tov Shana Tov, greeting someone from Rosh Chodesh or some say
I
from
saw
Chav
from
Av,
two B'Av.
or some say from Chamisha Zabav. So Chamisha Zabav, I'm going to have to look a little more because I know there's a mocker for this. But the basic mocker is brought Mata Fraim.
send you an email.
Send it to me. I'd love to. So next week I'll share with everyone. Tovkuf Pei is the Mata
I have to get
Fraim.
your email after the share then.
Okay, so I'll give it to you. So it'll be a schus for everyone. Tovkuf Pei is the Mata Fraim. Sefkot and Tess says that it's a minig Yisrael to greet in these days to another year. Shulchan Aruch brings there that it's a Minig Yisrael the night of Rosh Hashanah to say Lashon Tov T'Kos V'Sechosam. They only say it at night, not the next day, because we assume that already by night there's a whole shtickle Torah from the Rebbe's father that really at night already it starts Ksiva and the Gemara Chasim is B'Shas Ki Shoifa. Therefore, really in the morning it wouldn't be that bad to say Ksiva Lashon Tov T'Kos V'Sechosam. What's the Nakuda of these days? Because the Shulchan Aruch says that the 40 days that Moshe Rabbeinu was in the mountain, the last 40 days that you made Yotzin. That's why it's Elul is Anila Doide Veloy Dili, Rosh Tevis Elul, Sofet Tevis is for Yud, which is Meramas for the 40 days. That's what the Torah says, the 40 days. Lefikach, the Shulchan Aruch says it's a chiyuv to say Slichas all 40 days. Elamai, the Sfardim do it because they have a lot of Vedas. They eat rice and they eat rice on Pesach. So if you think it's fun to eat rice on Pesach, then start saying Slichas. An extra hour with the whole Chodesh Shel. After you say Slichas, the whole Chodesh Shel, then you can have rice on Pesach.
Yeah, you didn't say the other answer. What I told you.
I like this answer. Therefore, these days are special days. Because these are days a special day. So what's the inyan from Chof Av? Because there's a concept that also in these 40 days that the person is a Taurus and Dorim. It's interesting, it's brought that even the Loimdim, it's brought in the Pischei Tshuva from Gedol Yisrael, that even those Loimdim that learn day and night Tzavesam from Gornish, but the Chodesh Elul, they're a little bit put aside, they're learning of Nigla and Poiskim, and they Mesasik and learning things that are moed the heart to do Tshuva. So Mamela in these days, there's a special days. But there's also an Akuda that there's a Taurus and Dorim. So it's brought that Rebbe brings that there were Mekubalim in the Yeshiva base scale in Yerushalayim that they said there was that the 40 days really there's an inyan of Arba'in Yom Kodim L'Tziras Avlan, and therefore they used to do a Taurus and Dorim from Chafov, and therefore they used to say Lashon Tov T'Kos V'Sechosam and Ksiva Chasam Tova or Lashon Tov M'Sukkah from Chafov.
They did it every day?
From Chafov.
They did it every day? They did it one time?
They
They did it one time?
No, what?
They did it one time?
Yeah.
Where's the Torah Sudan have Sheilos to the Tshuva?
Because a person is untying like any things that he has. Yeah. David shall help that every one of us with a full heart is giving to the Chaver a bracha, Ksivach Simachayv and Torah M'Sukkah. Memela, David shall listen to us and give every one of us a Ksivach Simachayv, Shana Torah M'Sukkah, Gute, Gesund, and Nachas, Taka, and alle Mazel, Begashmis, and Beruchnis.
Amen. Don't forget